Hey Wofford fans, Phil Marcello here, welcoming you into Conquer and Prevail, Tracking the Terriers, presented by Pinnacle Hospitality. Each week on Conquer and Prevail, we will check in with various Wofford Athletic staff members to see what they are doing to keep their programs ready for action. On this episode of Conquer and Prevail, we talk with Rod Ray and Maggie Adcock. Wofford fans, we now welcome on senior defender for the women's soccer team, Maggie Adcock. Maggie, thank you for joining us today on Conquer and Prevail.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I guess I should start off there. On the website, you're listed as kind of a defender and a midfielder. Where did you fall into your role a little bit more as the season went on last year? And talk about maybe your versatility to play multiple positions.
Yeah, absolutely. So all throughout high school, I never really played in the back. When I came to college my freshman year, injuries happened and they kind of threw me back there. And so I've had to adapt, but then I've also been able to play in different positions just because I've had experience in other positions. And I've really enjoyed it. Been coached by a lot of great people who've helped me along the way. So just lots of experience in different positions.
We'll jump back a little bit towards the spring. You know, the spring season got cut short. What's been keeping you busy the last few months? And can you tell us where you're at right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So went home, was doing school online, which, I mean, it was pretty similar to school at Wofford. You just wake up, go to class on Zoom, do your homework, study. And school ended, and I was fortunate enough to have an internship at JDA, Johnson Development Associates in Spartanburg. I'm in their finance group, so I'm an intern for the finance group here in Spartanburg up until preseason starts on August 8th. So
you mentioned obviously that you're doing an internship now and you're studying finance. Do you have any idea what you want to get into post-playing career?
Yeah, right now after this internship, I'm really thinking commercial real estate.
Okay.
Anything in the finance world.
Yeah.
But really, really liking this internship and all the experience that I'm getting here. So
Awesome. Now you're going to be a senior, and we hope it's obviously a full fall season, all that. I know scheduling's kind of been different. It's all kind of up in the air. But going back for your senior season, what kind of leadership role do you expect to take on, or have you already kind of been a little more vocal, whether it's team chats or whatever that may be?
yeah, I mean, we're going to have a pretty big roster next year. Emily's bringing in 13 or 14 new freshmen. So I think it's going to be really big for the whole senior class to step up and be big vocally and just in their actions and how they lead by example on and off the field. So I'm hoping that all of the seniors can play a big part in that and just really leading by example, even when you think that the freshmen really aren't watching, they really are off the field as well. So.
Now, it's been kind of obviously a transitional period the last couple of years for Wofford women's soccer, but Coach Emily Grant will be going into her second year. As you're going to be a senior, how comforting is that to know, hey, second season, we kind of got used to each other. There's some continuity there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really great being able to have her for another year and just knowing the way she coaches, her style of play, how she runs practices, all of that. It's really great to have some consistency from junior year to senior year. So that's been great.
What's the communication been like? A lot of, almost everyone seems like they're doing Zoom calls, but what's the communication been like amongst the team? I know I've seen some of y'all's Instagram videos and things like that have been pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's been really big, just trying to stay in contact with each other. I mean, usually during the spring, we see each other multiple times a day with each other all the time. So it's been really weird. But yeah, just trying to keep each other accountable, doing fitness, calling each other, Snapchatting, just really trying to stay connected and encourage each other throughout quarantine for sure.
Awesome. You come from a pretty athletic family. Your dad played baseball at Sewanee, and I don't know if I pronounced that right, but your sister plays at Mercer. What's that rivalry like now, and how was that just growing up with a twin sister playing the same sport? That must have been pretty cool, and you must have pushed each other.
Yeah, it's honestly been such a blessing. I've always had a workout partner. I've always had a training partner, especially for soccer. I mean, always someone to pass with, do long balls with. push each other. I mean, I know that I would never be where I am today without having a twin sister to push me. So I've really been fortunate and thankful. And for my parents, my dad understands the grind that collegiate sport takes. So it's been really great to have a supportive family that just they all have experience, and for a twin sister that really gets it playing D1 soccer.
In a lot of sports, it's almost a tale of two seasons in a sense. When you get a team towards the end of the year, it could be completely different. Y'all had a couple of wins down the stretch over the Citadel and VMI before the season ultimately ended. But what can you take kind of down that stretch run where you had some positive results going into this season?
Yeah, absolutely. Just remembering how we prepared for that game, our mentality, the effort that we put into that game, the work rate, how we worked for each other, what worked particularly for those games against those opponents. And I think applying that to practice and that intensity level and remembering what it takes to pull out a win, and trying to replicate that for every game in the fall.
All right, for you, off the field, non-soccer related, what are some hobbies that keep you busy?
Well, right now, working and then going to sleep. But I really like to cook and bake and stuff like that, and work out. Working out is one of my favorite things, which kind of makes sense because of college. But yeah, that's what I would say.
No, that works. How about your favorite athlete growing up? Could be any sport.
Great question. I don't really have a favorite athlete. I mean, I love all different types of sports, and
Yeah.
I mean, grew up in Birmingham, Alabama, so watching football, SEC
Mhm.
football every single Saturday. Pretty used to that. Dad watched English Premier League, so I have a few different players that I like, but yeah, not really one favorite.
Fair. Is there any soccer player that kind of stands out in mind since obviously you play soccer?
Yeah, absolutely. Julie Ertz, is that her name?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like how she plays, how intense she is, and how tough she is in tackles, and she just seems like a really great teammate and leader.
Well, Maggie, I really appreciate you taking a couple minutes out of your day today to talk to us on Conquer and Prevail, and look forward to putting this one out there for the fans.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to speak.
Pinnacle Hospitality is an award-winning hospitality company based in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Their growing portfolio of internationally recognized hotels include Hilton Worldwide, Marriott International, Intercontinental Hotels Group, and Wyndham Hotels. Their burgeoning restaurant endeavors are poised to create a uniquely and locally inspired social dining experience. As a full-service management company, their team provides expert management for owners and asset managers. This expert management is carried forward through Pinnacle's vision and mission. Terrier fans, we now welcome on the head coach of the men's tennis program, Rod Ray. Rod, thanks for joining us on Conquer and Prevail.
Phil, my pleasure. Thank you for hosting me.
Let's talk about your background to begin things. You are someone that you played at East Tennessee State, familiar obviously with the Southern Conference and its schools, but can you tell us about your journey to, you had, reading your background, a little bit of a different path here. Can you tell the fans about how you got to ultimately to Wofford?
Right. So I've been at Wofford just over 20 years, and it's been a great journey. I feel like I'm just getting started. But I did. I worked in a tennis club for about 10 years in that industry, and prior to coming to Wofford, I worked in banking for a few years right out of college. And I think deep down inside, I knew I always wanted to be a coach. I was a multi-sport athlete as a kid, played tennis in college, kind of always knew that's what I wanted to do. Didn't know that that's what I would end up doing. But when the Wofford opportunity came, I jumped on it, and feel really, really fortunate that I got kind of at the right spot, the right time, and was hired.
Now, and you mentioned that you've been here, going on 20 plus years. You started running both programs, the men's and the women's program. Eventually were able to handle that off. You handle the transition to Division I. Can you talk about when you kind of step back and look, wow, this is where things were when I started and now where we're at today?
Right. Certainly Wofford's changed in the 20 years. Sports have changed in 20 years. I think everything has changed in 20 years. Things change fast, right? And I don't think anything has changed faster than sports. More information, it moves faster. There's more opportunities for learning and development. I think not just at Wofford, but across at all collegiate sports, the level has gotten higher. The opportunities for student athletes has gotten broader. Not only broader, it's gotten deeper. Yes, I coached both teams when I got here. Several other programs in the league had one coach for both programs. It was about 50-50, half did, half didn't. I enjoyed coaching both. I think coaching women helped me to be a better men's coach in many ways. So I'm grateful that I had the chance to do both. But ultimately, the level kept increasing where I was the last person coaching both teams, and now at the Division I level, it's certainly the exception rather than the norm for someone to coach both teams. Yeah.
Definitely. Now, a question that I like to ask a lot of the coaches here, because Wofford is, a unique place where the student athlete really is important. When you're looking for someone for your program, when you're out recruiting, what qualities are you looking for in a Wofford student athlete and a tennis player at that?
Right. So we have really good athletics here at Wofford. We also do it the right way, where we have great academics and great athletics, and that's how it should be, right? So we're looking for all of us, not just me, but all of us at Wofford are looking for players that get that. So great people, they're competitive in the classroom. My team's GPA is always better than that of the average student here. They do really well in school. They're competitive. They like that. They're winners. And so if we sit down and talk to them, I want to understand that player's journey. And the beginning, kind of the beginning is coming to college, right? But they have a journey, a little bit journey that underneath that. And that tells a little bit about, okay, how are they going to be successful at Wofford? I got to get the right kid for sure. I got to get that kid that wants to be a student athlete. And if they do want to be a real student athlete, there's no better place than Wofford.
Now, this would probably apply to some of your current roster and just in general, but tennis, I feel like, is a sport where you really get to travel a lot. You get to see a lot of different things. And, for your program, there's different players that you're bringing in from all over the world. What's that like? Because that's pretty cool to see different cultures.
It is so cool. Like so tennis is the second or third most popular sport in the world. Not quite that high up in America yet, but we're hoping it's gonna make some gains. But so it's definitely an international game. We have an international team. So my local players get the benefit of learning from cultures from all over the world, and it's an unbelievable educational experience. That it's really unique, but it is so cool. It is so cool. I had a player from Argentina, England, Spain, America, all on one team, and to have those guys come together and say, hey, we're not that different from each other. We're all good students. We all want to win. We all try hard. We care about other people. I've grown so much from my international students. It's been fantastic.
That's really cool. Unfortunately, the past spring season was cut short, but there's a lot of excitement with the incoming freshmen and going towards the fall, hopefully, a full fall spring season.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about this incoming class it was ranked 25th in terms of mid-major classes by tennisrecruiting.net?
Right. So it's a really good class. For us to get we have 3 Americans and then a player from Mexico coming in, and I'll start with our Americans. For us to have a 5-star and 2 4-star kids, that's a good recruiting class. One of them's my son, and Ash is a really good player, hardworking. He's a hardworking, fiery kid. He's going to be a good player for us. Will Fullett from Georgia. same thing. Great kid. Everybody would like to have Will Fuller on their team. Alex Horn from Kentucky, fantastic kid. I know these three kids well. I've had the benefit of seeing these kids for a long time, and got to handpick these kids. Couldn't be any better. And then Paco, I met him down in South Florida recruiting. He's from Mexico. People are going to love Paco. He's a terrific competitor, super energetic, just like the other three guys who are coming in. It's going to be a really fun class to coach. And our returning guys are the same guys, that same type of people. They're fun. I mean, they love tennis and love to compete, and it's great. Yeah.
As I mentioned, a lot of excitement for the incoming class, and I'm sure this is a question you're going to get asked a lot over the next 4 years. But can you tell us about the moment when, or the whole recruiting process of your son, because it's a more unique situation, getting to father son at the collegiate level, and then kind of when he decided he was going to come to Wofford and play for you?
Right. So Ash grew up around Wofford. Ash is a good player. He had a lot of opportunities to go to a lot of places. He had a lot of opportunities, so I'm thrilled that he chose Wofford. Not just to be on our team, but I'm also thrilled. My son's going to get to have this kind of experience, and both on the court and in the classroom. I can't believe that he's going to have that kind of experience, my kid. And so I'm really happy for him, because I believe in what we do here at Wofford so much. But it was, he kind of surprised me when he said, we were in the car one day driving down the road, and he said, and he'd been investigating different schools and so on and so forth. And he said, hey, I'm coming to Wofford. And I kind of stopped, and, are you kidding me? And he said, no, he's obviously friends with some players on the team. And he said, I got to call Bryce and Omar right now and tell them I'm coming. And I said, well, hang on, call your mother first. And did that. And so that was a really fun time. Yeah, it was a great moment.
Awesome. Well, Rod, this has been great. I really appreciate you taking a couple minutes out of your day and joining us on Conquer and Prevail.
Hey, thanks a lot. Thanks for having me. Have a great day.